Check, check. Are we ready to start? I think we're ready. All right. I'm gonna do some back testing today. Really simply, gonna be just recording. I'm gonna go through the last month of days on the charts, and I'm gonna back test my plan, 5 different versions of my plan, one at a time, and that's it. It's really simple. Yeah. So let me just move this over here. Put this there. Oh, doesn't want to do that. Put that there. So I'm going to test 3 versions of my plan where, I'm kind of like trailing. I'm trying to go for the big move. And I'm going to test 2 versions of my plan where I just take profit at 1R every single time. Because a trader I really respect and appreciate, and who's a very successful trader, takes profit at 1R every single time for the most part. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so the 5 versions of my plan that I'm going to test are just my plan as it is, my plan, but only the first signal bar of the hour that shows up, not 3 strikes, just whatever the first one gets filled. My plan, but no re-entries. And let me see. Your plan, but only the first one is filled, not 3 strikes. And no re-entries. Your plan, except you just go for 1R every time. And then if you can enter on the next bar your way. And if you win, you can enter on the next bar your way. If you lose, you can try again one more time. But if you lose again, you're just done for the hour. So the most we can lose in an hour, in 1 hour, is twice. And then your plan, except only the first signal that gets filled and not 3 strikes. So that's what we're gonna do. So I already did the first day, Thursday, December 4th, and we got nothing. And then I already did in a previous live stream last Friday, but we'll just start over again from there, and we'll do it again. So we'll go through the whole day, and we'll just come back and start again at the end. So this trade would not have filled. This trade here would have filled. And when I say it wouldn't have filled, because this is a signal bar, there's an arrow here. It's closing above the previous hour bar, but there's no confirmation break. Only I get 3 strikes, 3 chances to. That doesn't happen, so we just would pass on this hour. Next hour, though, the signal bar, it does get filled. And it goes, let's see, 93 up to 03. So it goes about 11 points, I believe. No. Yeah, no, so 93 up to about 94, actually. So 11 points. Um, finally works. I'm happy to hear that. Let me get signed in so I can respond. Yay. Sweet. Yeah, it's live stream's finally working. So yeah, I'm gonna be here the next several hours. I plan to be the next several hours back testing. So it's always a slower start when I back test, but eventually I get into a pretty good groove, and that's what I hope is going to happen today. So I've got a big pot of green tea here, So I'm going to get caffeinated slowly but surely and focused. So yeah, I got new software actually. That's why it's probably working. So I'm glad, because there's nothing more transparent than live streaming, and yeah, it's good thing to do. Okay, so just trading my plan, what would have happened on December 5th? Would have entered here, got long, moved my way, probably about here I would have added and kept my stop loss right here. So now we're in for 2 contracts. Then this bar probably would have added again, but for the sake of back testing, I'm just gonna go with like the more conservative approach and say I would not have added. And then after a second move my way, like after this bar, I probably would have gotten out. So gotten out at about 10 points up. Would have made about, let's see exactly, 92. So would have made about 92.7 up to 2.7. Okay, so I would have made 10 points on that. So that would be 5R. And then adding here, 97 up to 02. So what about made 2.5R? So I can chalk this down to 7.5 on Friday so far. But we have to do the whole day. Backtesting is really slow and boring. But it's something that you have to do to have full confidence in your plan. It's just crucial. And I think a lot of, at least for me, probably for many other traders out there, for me, for a long time, I was just lazy and I didn't want to put in the work because it's really tedious going through bar by bar, doing the math on exactly what would have happened so this wouldn't have filled. It's a lot of hard work, but you get the reward of trusting your plan and having confidence in your plan. Okay, so today would have been a good day. Nothing happened other than that first move. So now we have to do this 4 other times for today and just confirm. Oh, and I just realized too, there's a little bit more math we have to do for the first one because we're allowed to re-enter on the first. Oops, going the wrong way. We're allowed. How's my trading been going lately? Not good. That's why I'm back testing. My plan worked very well in November and the first part of December. Like I tripled my account. Well, let me actually just show you this too. So this is my process adherence journal. So following my plan, taking plans. Hold on. Let me see if I can. This doesn't want to share. Hold on. There we go. So following my plan since November 6th, I've made 61R. But trading off my plan, I've lost about 69R. So yeah, pretty, I guess, good and bad. Like, good that it's been working, but bad in that I've been violating it a lot. Most of this comes from anticipating. Some of it comes from oversizing, and a very small amount of it comes from just not respecting, like not trading when there's enough volatility. So basically negligible for this part, but mainly anticipating, and oversizing are my Achilles heels. Mainly anticipating, like just wanting to get in on the action. So I'm tracking it. I'm aware of it, and that's the key thing. That's the most important thing, is that I'm aware of it now, so I can fix it. So did I answer your question? And this is since the new year. So I've bet about 33 R units. I've risked about 34 R units following my plan, but I've risked about 9 anticipating and 10 oversizing. Yeah, exactly. I got to do the work, and that's what I'm gonna do on this live stream. And it's almost 5 o'clock here on Eastern time in Michigan, and it's blizzarding outside, so there's nothing better to do than just stay indoors and backtest. So I already exercised today, and I slept in because it's my day off, and now I'm just gonna get caffeinated and work late. So yeah, we'll get back to following my plan. That's what this backtesting is about. Is I feel like I haven't been following my plan very well because I still don't trust it enough, which is, it's almost like I find myself I ask myself, like, how do I not trust this yet, when it's very clear, like the data shows, like I'm up like 60 R units since November following my plan, but I just have to prove it to myself more with back testing, I think. And I think part of the reason I'm still doing all these anticipatory trades and trading off plan is I'm still trying to like test the market and see if there's something else that could work. And so doing this back testing, I'll basically be able to prove to myself, like, no, there's nothing else to do. Like, just follow your plan. There's nothing else to do. So yeah, that's why we're gonna do this big back testing session. 30 days, but testing 5 different plans. So it's like almost like we're about to back test 150 different scenarios. We are going to try and test 150. I hope I can get through them all tonight, because tomorrow the market opens and I want to be ready. But if I'm not ready and I have to take a week off to back test, so be it. But I want to be able to trade tomorrow. I don't want to miss any good action, and I want to get to it. Okay. Okay, so let's get back to the back testing. So this would have gotten out here. Potentially would have gotten in here again, and I would have lost money because I'm allowed to re-enter after I win. So this would be 4.25, or 4 is where I would have entered, and I would have lost down to like 1.25. So that's like 1.375 R that I would have lost. So 7.5 minus 1.375 R. So that takes me down to 6.125 R. Okay. Friday, December 5th. Testing. Same plan, but no re-entries if the first bar doesn't work. Well, I know for a fact that would, based on that previous testing, that this would just be 7.5. Your plan, but no re-entries. Wait. But with no re-entries. Your plan. Okay, your plan, but the first signal that gets filled instead of, okay, so this is an important distinction, because this second one is really just my plan, but I'm not allowed to re-enter. Currently, as it stands in my plan, I'm allowed to re-enter. But what I want to test is, like, per my plan, there's a 3 strikes rule, where is if this bar, and this bar, the first 3 bars on the 2-minute chart of the hour, if they don't get filled, I'm not allowed to enter on the hour. Now I'm gonna test though what happens if I just take the first signal bar that can get filled. So if we get a signal, we're gonna try and get in no matter what, just once the market lets us in. So in that case, I would get in here. Ooh, and that actually reminds me, I need to go to my unwritten rules and make sure I add something, because hold on. This is just a side note, real quick. Entry rules. If you are in a trade and a new hour starts and you get another signal, start fresh or treat the current position as you only need half as much more to make profit, aka 10% ATR 14, not the full 20%. Okie doke. Well, after a bridged move. Just texting my brother back. Forgot it's MLK Day. Well, I didn't forget, but I just remembered. Happy MLK Day. Okay. 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 So I know what I need to do now. Okay. So I just want to make sure I'm backtesting this right so I can be consistent. I can't start it one way and change it later on. So that's really important. So I just am making sure before I start that I'm consistent. Or get out after I leveraged. Move a 2-minute. Alrighty. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I can backtest this one. Okay, so enter here. Get in here because this is just the first signal that gets filled. And we're getting in at 82. So a lot earlier than up here at 93. 11 points earlier. So say we enter here. And we're targeting 17-point move because looking at the ATR 14, 8 is 86. We want to try and target 20% of that. Oh, I just realized you can't see that. So let me just pull this down. Up at the top. Yeah, you can see that now. So the ATR 14 right here, that's really important for my trading. I try to target 20% of that move. That's when I get out. So we would go for getting in here. Wherever we enter, we want to just that's because I'd be capturing 20% of the day's move. So 20% of that is 17 points. 82 plus 17 is 99. So we would target about right here, 99. So obviously, if I'm getting in here, I don't know that this is actually going to go up and hit my target. But we have to treat every single bar the same. Like, we don't know what's going to happen next. We just have to follow our plan, and that's why you need a rigid plan. Okay, that's a really important thing I just said. So that's a crucial part to backtesting, is you have to treat everything the same. Very important. Okay, so enter here. We would get filled. Move up, move up. Stop loss would go right here because this is the first bar that closes above the entry bar. Move up. Move down. At this point, could we add a contract? Maybe. I would say yes. We could add a contract right there. Because this is where we entered. Ooh, it's tough. It is tough to actually say we would enter there because we only want to enter if the stop loss will stay in the money. If we entered there and put the stop loss right there, it would be losing 1R. So yeah, I don't think we'd be able to enter right here. unfortunately. Yeah, we wouldn't. But what would happen next? We'd move up. Now we're really kind of far away from this position. We're up 8 points away from the position roughly. Now it's a time where it's like, okay, can we enter? Can we scale in? I would say no, not yet. Enter here. Or just wait. On this one though, absolutely we want to size up because we're far enough away from here that if we add a contract and slide the stop loss below here, we would be able to enter. So I gotta add something. Just taking a note to self. And I can't really show this, what I'm doing right now. But basically, what I did is you want to enter on the second. If I were to enter on here, on this bar here, and slide my stop loss up, this second bar would stop me out. So because we trailed 2 bars behind, right? But the bar that we scale in on, we always slide up the stop loss too. So yeah, I could scale in here and slide the stop loss up, but then I would get stopped out and I'd miss this next part of the move. So that's why it's much better. It's harder in the moment because it's exciting and you want to scale up because you think it might be a winner, but you really have to be patient at a bar like this. Wait for the second bar to form and then scale in, because if you wait till this bar and then you get stopped out, it's like it stinks, but it's like it just happens. It's part of trading. You break even. That's okay. And in this case you would actually win and it would go your way, right? But if you scale up here, then you get stopped out, you miss this move, it's really unfortunate. So yeah. So we got in here, we scaled in here. I'm almost tempted to make the rule so you have to wait for the second bar to scale in. That's tough. That's tough. So I think we need to do that. Only pyramid. All right, and this is I'm gonna learn a lot of stuff with this back testing. Like I'm probably gonna have to do a second back test after I do these 5, because like I'll learn some stuff and I'll maybe try to pick the thing that works best. Okay. Okay, so saying I would only back enter here. Ah, but no. Because then it's like there's no art to it. There's no art to it. Because say, oh God, because after this bar forms, then I'd want to get in and slide my stop loss up to here. Okay. Because I'm trying to backtest in a way that I'm not backtesting how I would want to trade, how I would want myself to trade this with hindsight. I'm trying to backtest this how I would actually trade this if I were trading. I don't know if I'm able to convey that, if I'm conveying that well. Basically, if what I'm trying to say is, oh yeah, I'd like to believe that I wouldn't scale in on this bar and slide up. But the reality is, knowing myself, probably I would. I'd probably I'd probably get this bar and want to scale in, and I'd probably get stopped out here. And the question is like, if I'm leaving the art out of it, I could just code this and have it be an algorithm trade it for me. That's tricky. It's a tricky dilemma. So I think, for the sake of this, I need to treat myself like a robot and just say, and not leave it up to chance. Um, and just tell myself I'm only allowed to size up. Um, yeah. So I would be able to allow to size up here. I wouldn't here. Okay, but this is the first bar of the next hour, and it's a signal bar too. So this would be a good bar to enter in on anyway, as like a confirmation type thing. Okay, so enter here, enter more here, enter one more here. Now we're 3x leveraged. We go up to here. We're getting out. It makes a move my way. Maybe I can hold it for one more, but probably not. I'm probably getting out here because at this point I'm up 82 up to 96. So let's look one more time. 82 up to 96 and a half. Or, yeah, 96 and a half. So that's, we'll just round down and say 14 points. So 7R plus 88.5 up to 96. So 4R. And then 3 up to 96 and a half. So 1.2R. So that would be 7R plus 4.5 plus 1.5, right? So 13R on that trade. So that's pretty spectacular. Let's go through the rest of the day. I don't think there would be anything. Oh, wait, so yeah, by our rules, we would have to take this. Nothing gets filled there. Nothing gets filled there. So this would get filled here because this is the first bar of the hour that gets filled. Because this wouldn't get filled. This wouldn't get filled. This wouldn't get filled. No confirmation break. None of those would be filled. So yeah. So enter here. Stop loss goes here. And we get stopped out. So this would lose us 7.5 minus 5.75, so we'd lose like $87.5 or minus 0.875. So we're still up over 12R. That's great. And that's it for that day. So now this is where it gets really interesting. The 1R trading rule. This is pretty incredible. Yeah, this is pretty incredible. I got 11 and 8 before, but let's just test it again. So it's my plan. Only, what is it? You can enter. You just keep entering till you win. And if you lose, you get to try one more time. But then if you lose again, better luck next hour. Then I'm also going to do it where it's like the version we just did, where it's just the first signal bar of the hour, but you just go for 1R every time. And if you lose, you do get to try one more time, but if not, should I even do that? We'll just add one more. What the hell? Or do we even want to do that? Hold on. Thinking. And you just go for one every time. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll try it that way. No, we gotta try this. We gotta try all four. Your plan. But if you lose, at all, better luck next time. And then, okay, this probably is confusing, but I'm just gonna go ahead with this, and hopefully it will make sense as I go along with it. Try Claude. Sorry, I'm just gonna check these comments. Changing the rules. Okay, changing the rules to each one trade. Not the best idea. So, I'm not changing it for each trade. I'm trying to backtest multiple versions of my plan, like 7 different versions. So I was just trying to figure out the rules for the version I was testing that I'm going to apply to 30 days worth of data. So yeah, I completely agree. If something works on one trade and you change your plans to make it work for that trade, it's a really bad idea. But I'm not doing that. I'm back testing 7 different versions of my plan to figure out which one is best. And in the process of doing that, I'm going to gain confidence. I'm going to gain confidence that, okay, whatever I finally decide to do in the end, this is for sure the right plan because of my back testing. So it's just about increasing confidence in what I'm doing. Okay, Broke Boy Plunger. Try Claude Code. It's amazing. Yes, focus on back testing like you're talking about, but do not try and retrofit the back test to past results. Yeah, I feel like I just kind of addressed that. These guys are both right. They're saying 7. That sounds crazy. Yeah, it's gonna take me a long time. I mean, that's why I'm prepared to sit here for the next several hours. And when I first did this back in um, November, at the start of November, like November 2nd, I tested, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different versions. And I found out that 3 of them were complete junk. 2 of them just broke even, but with fees they would lose. And then 1 of them made me a good amount of money, or our return. So I completely, it's a lot of work, but ultimately to win at trading and beat, Wall Street and everybody else who has resources and time and decades more experience than you and all that, you have to put in a lot of work is how I see it. But yeah, going back to your comment and then the other guy, I'm not trying to retrofit. I'm trying to just test 7 different plans on the same days to see which ones in the end give me the best return. So what I'll do here is I'll do a sum function and I'll add all these days up so I can see the final results at the end. And I'll apply this to all 7. So this is going to take a long time because I do it all manually, but it's the only way to do it. I don't trade algo. Maybe I will start trading algo one day, like the one guy suggested in the comment. But I don't know. I want to do it. I want to do it manually. There are benefits to doing it manually. There's a really great discussion Adam Grimes gave about trading like manually versus with having a code trade for you. And it was like 10 years old, but it's still super relevant. So let me know if you want me to if you have any interest in that. I can share that. Okay. So, yes, let's test this now. So this is my plan, but I just going for 1R every single time. Okay. So, this trade wouldn't have worked. This trade, and 1R is just 2 points, by the way. So that would have worked. And then after it hits, we're allowed to get back in. So which bar does it hit on? 82, so it'd be 4.25. Okay, so this is the bar I would have won on, and then on this bar we're allowed to enter again. So it would have filled, and this bar definitely, it would have worked. This bar, it would have filled. worked. 90.75. So we're looking for 92.75. Would have fit here. So how many times is that so far? So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. This would be 4 if this works. So 4, enter here. And we need it to go to this one would have hit. This went just 2 points above. So 4R. Enter here. That one would have hit. So 5R. Wouldn't have filled, wouldn't have filled. Would have filled. And lost. So back to 4R. This one would have filled and won. So 5R. Just trying to do the math. Well, I'm trying to see if this would go up too. So 900.25. So we needed to see 2.25. So that would have hit. So 6R. Am I doing my math right? I'm losing track. I think 6R. 92.5. So we need 4.5. So 7R. That would have hit. So this is tricky because this would have filled. And this would have lost. Whoa. The hell? Where'd it go? I think it just updated and pushed us out. Because that was 30 days ago. So now we can't look at that data anymore. Well, I could if I go to on demand. So let's just go to on demand and go to December 2025. December 31st, 2025. Now we can just go back and look. This is so hard to keep track of. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. And how many would this have lost? 1, 2 down to 93. So quite a bit. I, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, Um, I think I'm gonna completely just change what I'm doing here. I think I'm gonna just throw out this 1R backtesting approach and just focus on the trailing. I think that's just more realistic. I have enough data that shows that the trailing works well. I don't want to completely reinvent the wheel. I have stuff that I know works. So I'm just going to table it all. I'm not going to completely delete it, but I'm just going to table this stuff. Because if I have to backtest 7 different versions of the plan, it's just going to take so much longer than anything else. So I'm just going to move all this over. I think this is going to be a way more productive use of my time, and I think this is definitely the right decision. I'm not just. I think this will be better, and I think I don't know. And I know trading off feelings and is never a good idea, but I think in this case, my gut instinct is right. I don't want to waste time. I'll just backtest 3 of these trailing plans today. I can backtest more another day if I so choose, but now I'm just going to focus on the trailing. Okay. So, my plan, entries after my plan, but no re-entries per hour. Your plan, except only the first signal. So now we're just going to backtest 4 very similar plans. Back to my plan. Only pyramid on second bar. That's what we have to do, I think. Yeah, we only can pyramid on the second bar. Alright. We're an hour into this live stream almost, and see, I'm still figuring out what I want to do. That's why this is a challenge. But that's why it's also rewarding, and it's also why I've neglected to do this for years of my trading career. And it's not exciting to watch, and it's not exciting to do, and it is exciting to me now because I know I have the results for how powerful it can be right here. Let me make it right here. I mean, I wouldn't have ever doubled or tripled my account or quadrupled. I don't think I ever quadrupled, but I think I 3.5x'd my account in such a short time period that never would have happened had I not done this backtesting. So now it is exciting to me, but I think it's only exciting to me because I've reached a certain level of like trading maturity where I know what comes out of the work I put in, and yeah, and I'm learning a lot about myself, my trading, so that's really exciting for me. So and I'm not even gonna really use this anymore because I'm just tracking how many R I get. I'll leave it up, it doesn't matter. So my plan, but with no re-entries. No re-entering till next hour. Your plan, except a 3 strikes rule. All right, I'm ready to lock in and focus here. I'm drinking my tea. I'm starting to feel the effects. Just reviewing my plan one more time. So what I'm testing is here. Let me actually share one more thing to my screen. Let me share one more thing. Screen share, window capture. Here we go. Add source. Add new source. Word. Trading plan. I'm just going to add this for a little bit. Select option. Microsoft Word. Trading plan. Here we go. Done. Perfect. So I'm just going to have this up just for a little bit, just so you can see what I'm doing, guys. Make this nice and easy to read. I love this new streaming software. It's really intuitive and easy to use, and yeah. All right, so oh, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, so this is what I'm testing. Like, everything in black is not negotiable. It is staying true. What I am testing today with this back testing is what's in red. So this is currently a part of my plan. I'm gonna see if it's actually should be a part of my plan or not. That's what I'm gonna see. So I hope this is clear and makes it. Ooh, it's way too close. Whoa. What the hell? Let's fix this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm testing these. That's really it, mainly. I think that's it. That's what we're testing today, to a T. There may be times when I'm trading, I say I want to ignore my rules but I have to ignore those feelings and just stick to my plan. Now I know, because I'm human and because professional traders way better than me. No, that's not true. I'm checking myself. So there is a trader who's much better than me that makes well into the six figures who says that sometimes you violate your plan and you're just human and you always will, but they only violate their plan if it's like a really if they're gonna hold your position for longer or something like that. So instead of taking profit at 20% ATR, you try and hold it and go for like a 30% or 40% ATR move. So that's one professional trader who does really well. But then the best professional trader I know, I don't know how much they make, but I know, they spend, it's a lot, probably in the millions, just because of who they know and who their circle is. I don't know this person personally or anything, but emailed with them and chatted with them before, and this person says you can never violate your plan. Like, if you violate your plan, if you follow your plan 100 times, but then you violate it once, you can't call yourself a disciplined trader. That's their take. And this is a really, really good trader. But so is the person who, trades for a living, who's just retail and makes really good money. So I think it depends on you, what your plan is. There's so many different ways to what is it, like skin a cat or something like that is a saying. There's just a lot of ways to bake a cake. That sounds less harsh than skin a cat. But there's a lot of different ways to bake a cake, and you got to just figure it out for you. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is figure out for me what I need to do. for my plan. So I'll stop sharing this now. I'll hide it. And I'll get back to trading. But that's what I'm trying to figure out is what do I want to do for my plan? And just testing those 2 bullet points, I think whether I want to keep them or not is going to help me a lot. So with that being said, let's finally get back to testing this out. And I think we can really get into a flow here and just get through this as fast as possible. So, zero. All right. So, really ready to get into the flow now. Get into the flow of things. Took me a minute, but happy with how that went. We also have to make sure that we are looking at the 2-minute ATR 14 to make sure we're allowed to trade at all, because sometimes we're not allowed to trade. Probably going to work here for another 30, 40, 60 minutes, then take a break to eat some food. It's 5:49 here on Eastern time. What the hell? Did I pass it? What the hell? What was it, Friday or Thursday? What was that? Friday, December 5th. Okay, this is it. I missed it. Here it is. I'll zoom in. All right, now it's nice and clear. We can get into the back testing. So enter here. Enter more here. Enter more here. Goes up my way. Make, what was it? Make like $13R on that trade. But on this time, we're allowed to re-enter. So after we get out there, get this trade, get back in, re-entered at 6,900. Don't get stopped out, don't get stopped out, moves my way, comes back. Ooh, do we want to, can't size up yet, moves my way. And then would get stopped out here for a break even. So nothing happens there because we entered on this bar here with the re-entry, and we got stopped out here on the re-entry, and we were trailing behind the last 2 bars. So stop loss would have been right there, which is pretty much right exactly on the break even point or the entry point. So yeah, I mean, I'll say, just for the sake of this, I'll say minus like 0.25. But yeah, not bad there. Not bad. All right. Cool. Next trade. And then we would have, well, we would have lost what? We would have lost again one more time, like 0.875, right? So minus 0.875. Ooh, but then we could have re-entered again. So let's go look. So right here we would have. Right here we would have entered. No, we wouldn't. Right here we would. No. Right here we would have entered. Lost. There. There. Come down. And then we would have gotten in on this one. And we would have lost 86.25 down to 83.5. What is that? 86.25 down to 83.25. So easy math. So minus 3R. All right, now we can get into a flow because we finally decided what we're doing. Can get out of on-demand mode. All right. Appreciate your patience, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and commenting and stuff. Helps the algorithm, helps grow the channel. I'm drinking loads of tea, working up an appetite doing this, but that's okay. All right, so now we are on December 8th. Ooh, I gotta fix this. Make this only weekdays. Fill weekdays. There we go. Monday, December 8th. All right. Monday, December 8th. So, wouldn't have filled here. So, next hour. Because 3 strikes. Would have filled here. Trailing by 2 bars. Would have lost. And by the way, I'm treating every single entry as just one single ES contract. So that's what I'm doing. 48.84 or 48.5 minus 55.25. So we'll say 55.25 or equals 48.5 minus 55.25. So minus 6.75 R on that one. Not a good start for that one. But that's just the way it goes. That's trading. With re-entering, would we even have entered? And the 2 ATR is high enough. Was the 2 ATR high enough yesterday? I can't go back to see, so forget it. I just won't even look. Wouldn't have filled there. Wouldn't have filled there. Oh, shoot. Okay, lost there. This might be clear too. What the right answer to do is after 10 days, but it's really not. Like if I backtest 10 days, I might be like, oh, you obviously have to do this, but you really have to go through the full 30 days to make sure you're testing enough data. Um, but most of the time, if after 10 days you're getting a statistically significant number of trades, like at least 20 or 30 probably, it can start to be pretty clear. And what happens early in the data is usually kind of what you should do. So based on this, after 15 days of backtesting, I might just make it pretty clear what I need to do. Okay. What next? What next? What next? Oh, I would like to do this with a 3-minute chart too one day, actually. I think that'd be good. I'll just add that to the list even. Do the same experiment with a 3-minute chart. Because I'm like you have to treat this like a scientist and apply the scientific method. So like what I'm doing right now is I'm creating a hypothesis. So I'm gonna do this experiment again with a 3-minute chart. Maybe, this is just a guess. Maybe you will be stopped out less since you will have more cushion trailing, and you will get out by hitting 20% ATR 14, or even better, an ATR 14 move after being 3x leveraged. Though getting 3x leveraged would be harder. Actually, as I'm even writing this, I'm realizing, oh, I don't want to do this with the 3-minute. Instead of doing this with 3-minute, change the trailing rule on 2-minute to be 3 bars back and try it out. Shit, so yeah, we're gonna have to try that too. Oh, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. I'm definitely not gonna do all this tonight. It's just gonna be too much work. To be determined. Okay, so I'm allowed to, I would have lost bat on this one, but I'm allowed to get back in. This would have, I can't tell if that would have filled or not. If this would have filled. So I would have put my entry right there. I think for the sake of the experiment, too, we just need to assume it would fill, because it would be bad if it did fill, and we want to capture the most honest results. So say this did fill and I lost, that would be good for this result, because that's the worst possible thing that could happen when I'm live trading. And that's what we want in backtesting. We want the worst thing to happen in backtesting, so we can say, oh, I don't want to do this part of the plan. So, okay, so we'll say that this would lose, or we'll say, so this would get filled, wouldn't get stopped out there. 2 behind. Would get stopped out here. So 57.5, 57 point. I can't tell what that would be. We'll just say 57.5, 54.25. So what did I say? 54.25 minus 57.5, so minus 10R. Would have lost 10R, $1,000, because one. I'm just treating this is just, you know, that's just what would happen on this day. If you trade an ES contract, and that just shows why ES contracts are just so leveraged. Man, that's crazy. Whew. So that's 2 losses on this one, 3 strikes on that. So at this point, would we get into this trade? ATR is at 3.24. ATR 14 is at 84.43. So what's 5% of 84.43? Well, you just divide by 2 and move the decimal 1 to the left. So 84 divided by 2 is 42, or 4.2. So 4.2 is basically 5% of 84. And ATR 14 here is only at 3.25. That's not above 4.2, so we would skip this trade. So that's good for me. All right, so that's that day. We finished that day. We finished that experiment. Now, this is the same plan, but with no re-entering and allowed. So 3 strikes, wouldn't have traded. Would have entered there and lost. So I'll just copy and paste. So would have lost 6.75R on that trade. But can't re-enter. Wouldn't have traded that. Would have entered here. Oh wait, wouldn't have entered there. Sorry, I went too far. Right here, right? No. Dude, what? Right here, right? Where did I just do something weird? I think I might have just done something wrong. And by this logic, I shouldn't have even have taken this trade, because ATR is 4, which is below 4.4. So I don't actually think I should have taken that trade. And I shouldn't have taken a second trade here, because three strikes. Just gonna go back really quick to the Friday, December 5th. Oh man, so I wouldn't have traded that according to my own rules. And this is something that we would definitely need to trade. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to miss a move like this. But ATR is 86. Ugh, this is a conundrum. Having a ginger candy. Too many different systems is what the comment I just received said. Um yeah. That's what I'm trying to work out. Yeah. Like a scientific theory, I'm reading the comment. Like a scientific theory, you have a theory, then you prove it if it works or not. You can't test seven at the same time. Too much, bro. See, the way I see it, I'm not trying to test seven at one time. I'm trying to test. I'm trying to test them all each individually. Um, so I'm trying to test one at a time, 4 times. I'm not trying to test. I brought it down from 7 to 4. It's just these four here, and I'm not trying to test them four at a time. I'm just trying to test four, one at a time. So, look, I know it's kind of chaotic, but yeah, at this. Okay, yeah, I know. I get your point, but this is just like what I did before, and I know it's like it's clunky, but it's what I did before, and it's like awkward and hard to get through, but working these things out um, is how I had is how I found my first ever consistent success. So I'll tell you what I'm thinking right now. This is a curveball. I'm thinking of getting. Ooh, my rib. My rib hurts. I'm thinking about getting rid of the ATR requirement entirely and just saying, you know what? I'll just only trade from the open, 9:30 a.m. to 11 Eastern, the first 90 minutes, and then I'll only trade like 1 to 4 p.m. because everyone on Wall Street takes the lunch, the market slows down, volatility decreases, And maybe that's just what I need to do. I don't know. I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm trying to work all this out. Ugh. No. Oh, here's that one that I took. You are in the stage of chasing new setups and patterns. See, I feel like that's what I'm not doing. I was doing that. That's when I started losing and giving back a lot of my wins. And then I was thinking, oh, I just need to change my plan, change my system. But then I reevaluated and I said, no, I just need to stick with what works. I don't need to change my plan, it's in me. So you're saying it's an endless loop trying to find the Holy Grail. I I'm just thinking about that. Um, I don't know. I don't know. By testing the same four systems, you are doing the same thing as before. What thing? Hmm. All right, bringing my trading plan back up. Okay, so entry rule. Mm, think you see my point now. You have a set of rules that work, but now you're testing 4 new systems. Yeah, I do have a set of rules that work, but I feel like that set of rules is still flawed because of these 2 bullet points up here. I'm keeping my same system. I'm just trying to see, by keeping one of these in, or getting rid of both of them, or keeping this one, what works. Um, so I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm still sticking with the same system. I'm just trying to optimize it because I agree with you. I agree with the point that a lot of traders, they have a system that works, but it's not working for them, so they just look to change the system instead of just focusing on themselves and doing like the inner work and win the mental game and win the trading psychology. But I feel like my trading psychology, like the reason I've given back so many profits trading on plan is because I don't fully trust my plan and have enough confidence in my plan yet. And that's what the point of this back testing is. Just to like remind myself that my plan works and just figure out what is the best version of my plan. So I'm sticking with my plan, just very minor tweaks. And that's what I'm doing. Um, so I see your point. I agree with it, and I appreciate you telling me. But I do feel like for me and my psychology to get to a point where I can actually keep my gains and stop anticipating and being stupid, I have to go through this second back test and just give it one more good go, and then I really can stick to my plan. That's what I feel like, and I believe. So that's why I'm doing it. My back testing. I didn't like two at the start of November. I would just stay up late till like I'd work from like 7 p.m. till 3 a.m. Listen to music and like study focus electronic music to keep me energized, and I just like stare at charts and just I would do what I'm doing now, and now I'm just trying to do that. I'm live streaming it because why not just share part of my journey, someone can learn. I'm trying to teach my younger brother, to trade so he can learn from this, and that's what I'm doing. Almost done with my pot of tea. I hear you. Thank you. Huh. Just gonna delete that. Maybe, just maybe, the original system was the one this whole time. Maybe, yeah, I agree that maybe. Okay, so maybe, just maybe, the original system was the one this whole time and just needed some time and love. Yeah, that is very possible. And that's like what the point of doing this backtesting is about. That's the point of doing this backtesting, is to this is me giving this system time and love, because I guess I just didn't give it enough time and love the first time, I would say. And it worked really well, but I didn't have the confidence in it to properly execute it. That's not back. I am backtesting the original system. This this part here, this first one right here is the original system. So only these three are slightly different versions of this original system, but this plan is the original system that I followed. This first one that I'm testing here is the original system. Well, I guess it's not, because I am just applying. I am just seeing what would happen if I did one. This is with one ES contract every time, not adjusting the ES contract or the micro contracts to be equal to 1R or $100. What are the results of the original system after 30 trades? I was up. Um, as far as this back testing goes, I haven't even got through like 4 days yet. I'm still going. I'm going pretty slow and working it out. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So the comment says you are not backtesting your system, you're just distracting yourself with what ifs. Um yeah. No, that's true, because the way I'm backtesting is I'm treating every single entry as if it's as if I'm entering with one ES contract, but that's not what would happen because I would vary how many contracts, how many micro ES contracts. You know this is gaming, right? Gaming? I don't know what you mean. Elaborate. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know it's you. I know it's you. Yeah, so basically what um my friend Knives in the comment is saying in the comments are saying who's someone I chat with regularly on Discord about trading. What he's saying, and he's accurately saying this. He's saying what I'm doing is not actually backtesting my plan because I am treating every single entry um, as I'm treating every single entry like no matter the size of the bar, like I'm gonna enter with the same size contract. When in reality, um, when I was actually trading my plan and having success, the amount of contracts I enter with would vary. It would depend on the size of the entry bar. The rule was I would enter with one, I'd risk $100 per entry. So if, for example, um, the entry signal bar was 2 points, I would risk one ES contract. If it was 4 points, I would risk five MES contracts. If it was 8 or if it was 10 points, I would risk two MES contracts. So try this, backtest your original system if you were to enter perfectly and see if you would be up on the month. Yeah, that is what I should do. I'm gonna have to take a break here to pee because I've been drinking like almost had a full liter of tea. So I'm probably gonna take like a 5-10 minute break. What does this do? Probably gonna take a little break. And then only then if it's a negative. Yeah. So you think I guess what I'm trying to weigh in my mind is it actually a complete waste of time to just see what happens if every single bar, no matter the size I enter on, is with one ES contract? I think I know the answer. I think it would be a waste of time because then it's not even an R. It's just yeah. Yeah, okay. No, this is a good point. I mean, it took me 2 hours into this live stream to realize a pretty basic fact, which is I need to treat every single entry as yeah. I think I was just trying to do one ES contract every time because I'm just thinking like I guess I'm just thinking like well, if I just risk one ES contract every time, that just makes it really easy. I don't have to do mental math. I don't need to calculate R. I can just add it up. Um, and then if I'm still positive with one ES contract every time, then I'd feel really confident in my plan. And then I would also have some days where I have huge, like 13R winners potentially, like I did on the first bit of this back testing. So I don't know, but I think you're right. I think yeah, I haven't been back testing this like I should be. So maybe I still will do this just as an experiment, just to kill some time to learn some stuff. But no, this is really appreciate your comments because I didn't even realize that I wasn't even back testing this the way I would trade it or the way I did trade it, and I feel kind of silly now. But better late than never. So yeah, I appreciate it a lot. Keep keeping me accountable. All right, I'm gonna go take a little bathroom break, and just be away from my desk for a little bit. So let me see if I can do this. So I think I can do be right back or intermission. Interesting. Cool. I'll just do be right back. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself. I will be right back. All right, you have a good night. I see you're taking off. Thanks for the help. Yeah, I do know where to find you. Fucking find you on Discord. So yeah, I appreciate it. I'm gonna take a little break and I will come back and I will let you know after I finish this experiment. I'll reach out. So yeah, thanks again. Take it easy. All right. So, I just realized I'm pretty hungry, so I'm going to get some dinner. And I'll probably just call this live stream here. Um, wasn't the most productive, but it was pretty productive. Having a conversation with that guy who's commenting knives. On Discord, he goes by Gaming Too Good, and I talk with him regularly about trading. And he brought up a really good point, which is I wasn't actually backtesting my system. And I actually, just funny enough, I went on several Discord chat rooms and I just said, asked a question. I asked whether people risk the same amount of money every trade, aka R, um, adjusting the amount of stocks, contracts you buy based on how wide the stop loss distance is, or if you trade the same amount of contracts every time, despite how far the stop loss, meaning you wouldn't lose a consistent R every time. Sometimes you'd lose 0.5, sometimes you'd lose 3, just depending on the size of the entry bar. So, I have a feeling most people are going to say they risk the same amount every time. I'm curious to see what people think. Because I was experimenting with a lot of tonight with risking the same amount of contracts every time, and that's not what you're supposed to do. So I think I'm going to end this here. It's productive, but appreciate you tuning in. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go eat dinner, and I'm still going to do a lot of back testing just offline, and I'll share my results next time I go live or next time I make a video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Peace.